Hi, friends. Today I want to share a new story with you. I hope you enjoy it. The office was busy and noisy as I held the letter from the hospital. My son Oliver needed a very important heart surgery in a few days, and I had to take time off. I was about to ask my boss, Hudson Grayson, for help. I wasn't just an employee, I was a mother trying to save her child. Hudson's office door looked big and scary in front of me. "Be careful, Jenna," the receptionist said softly as I walked by. "He's not in a good mood today." I gave her a small nod and kept going. I didn't have a choice. This was about my son's life. Hudson didn't look up when I walked in. He was typing fast, his face tight with stress. "What is it, Samantha?" he asked without stopping. "I need some time off next week," I said, trying to keep my voice calm even though my chest felt tight. He stopped typing and leaned back, giving me a cold look. "Time off? Why?" "My son has surgery on Tuesday. It's really serious," I said, trying not to let my nerves show. "Serious for you, maybe," he said, his voice hard. "Not for the company." I froze, shocked by how harsh he was. "Hudson, this isn't a small thing. It's life or death." "And whose life or death?" he asked, standing up and walking toward me. "Look, Samantha, I understand you have a kid, but this is a business. You have a job to do." I clenched my jaw. I've worked here 7 years. I've stayed late, helped others, and never asked for anything like this. Can't you let it slide, just this once? He laughed, but it wasn't friendly. "You think we can't replace you? If you want to leave, go, but your job won't be here when you come back." His words hit me hard. My heart pounded, and I felt tears build up. I had always followed the rules, always done the right thing, but this felt so unfair. "Hudson," I said, my voice shaky but strong, "I can't choose between my job and my son." "Then don't," he said coldly. "You know where the door is." I walked out of his office in a daze. I heard Jenna whisper behind me, "You don't deserve this." That evening, I packed my things. I was scared but also a little free. Hudson had made his choice, and now I had to make mine. As I left the office for the last time, I told myself I was ready to face whatever came next. Nothing was more important than my son. Morning light came through the hospital window, lighting up Oliver's peaceful face as he slept. I sat beside him, feeling tears of relief as I watched him breathe. The surgeon's words echoed in my mind. The surgery went well. He'll be fine. I gently moved some hair from Oliver's forehead. For weeks I had felt so heavy with worry, but now that weight was gone. My little boy had won a fight no child should ever have to face. 2 weeks passed. The house was quiet except for the soft sound of the oxygen machine in Oliver's room. I drank coffee at the table, looking at job listings online, but my mind wasn't really on them. Quitting my job had been scary, and I still didn't know what would happen next. Then the doorbell rang. I jumped a little, then got up and opened the door. Jenna stood there, my old coworker, holding a big envelope. "Samantha." She looked over her shoulder like someone might be watching. "This was dropped off at the office for you. It's from Hudson." I took the envelope, feeling a tight knot form in my stomach. "Thanks, Jenna. Are you okay?" she asked, her mouth set in a firm line. "Things are falling apart over there. Hudson's panicking. Clients are angry about missed deadlines," and she paused, glancing at the envelope. "Just be careful, okay?" Her warning gave me chills. After she left, I sat down and opened the envelope. Inside was a formal letter from the company's lawyers. It said I had broken my contract by quitting without notice. They said I had to come back to work right away, or they'd take legal action. I felt anger rising. Hudson was trying to scare me into coming back. My hands shook as I grabbed my phone and called my friend Carla, who's a lawyer. "This is just payback," Carla said after I explained. "He's bluffing, Samantha. If he actually takes this to court, it'll only hurt him. You've done nothing wrong." "But it feels like a battle I didn't ask for," I said, my voice shaking. "I just wanted to be there for my son." "And you were," Carla said firmly. "Hudson wants to make you regret standing up to him. Don't let him win." Before I could reply, my phone rang again. It was Hudson. I stared at the screen, unsure. "Pick up," Carla said. "Let's hear what he has to say." I answered the call. "Samantha," Hudson said, his voice tight and angry. "We need to talk." "About what?" I asked coolly. "About the mess you left behind," he snapped. "Clients are leaving. Work isn't getting done. I don't have time for this. Just come back and we'll forget this ever happened. I gave a cold laugh. Forget it? You made it clear I didn't matter, so find someone else. This isn't a game, he growled. You're breaking your contract. Then sue me, I said. But don't expect me to fix your mistakes. He didn't say anything for a second. Then he muttered, "You'll regret this," and hung up. I set the phone down. My hands were still shaking, but this time it wasn't fear. It was strength. Hudson thought he could control me, but he was wrong. Just then, I noticed an email open on my screen. It was from Mrs. Delaney, one of my old clients. She sounded upset and confused. "Samantha," she wrote, "since you left, the work has gotten worse. Deadlines are missed and no one communicates. Did you know this was happening?" I clenched my fists. My heart beat faster. Hudson was falling apart, and now his problems were affecting clients. But Mrs. Delaney's message wasn't just bad news, it was a chance. I called Carla again. "It's even worse than I thought," I said. "Now the clients are suffering, and he's blaming me. But maybe I can do something about it." "I'm listening," Carla said, her tone sharp. "I'm going to talk to the clients I worked closely with. I'll explain what happened and offer to help them on my own. If Hudson wants to play dirty, I'll show him I'm not afraid." "That's bold," Carla said. "But be smart. Don't do anything that could actually get you in trouble." I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. "I'll be careful, but I'm done being bullied." That night, after Oliver was asleep, I sat at the dining table with my laptop. The first email I wrote was to Mrs. Delaney. Subject: a personal update. "Dear Mrs. Delaney, I'm very sorry to hear about the problems you've had since I left. I haven't been involved with the company since then, but I cared deeply about our past work together. If you ever need help, I'd be happy to support you on my own. I value our relationship and want to make sure you get the service you deserve. Warm regards, Samantha." The email felt risky, but it also felt right. Before I could overthink it, I hit send. The next morning, my phone rang. "Samantha, it's Delaney," said the familiar voice. "I got your email. Are you serious about helping us?" "Absolutely," I said, keeping calm. "I can't take this mess anymore. If you're available, let's talk about how we can work together, without them." I smiled, feeling a wave of relief. "Thank you for trusting me, Mrs. Delaney. Let's set up a time to talk." As the call ended, my phone buzzed again. This time it was Hudson. His name lit up the screen. I ignored it. I knew he'd heard, and I knew he was losing control. That day, Carla called me. "Hudson's falling apart," she said, barely able to stop laughing. "I heard 2 more clients are leaving." "Good," I replied, my voice steady. "He's finally seeing the consequences of pushing people too far." For the first time in weeks, I felt like I was in control. Hudson's company was falling apart, and now I was the one holding all the power. Then, an urgent email arrived at dawn. Subject: urgent, legal action against you. My heart skipped a beat as I opened it. Hudson's lawyer was accusing me of breaking my contract by contacting clients and causing harm to the company. I took a deep breath and tightened my grip on my coffee mug. So this was his next move. He wasn't just scrambling anymore. He was lashing out. Before I could panic, I called Carla. "He's suing me," I said without wasting time. "Are you surprised?" she said calmly. "He's backed into a corner, and you're the one he's taking it out on. But remember, you've got leverage, Samantha." The word leverage sparked something in me. Carla was right. I wasn't powerless. Hudson had created a toxic environment, and the fact that clients were leaving proved it was his leadership, not my resignation, that was the problem. That afternoon, I sat in the office of my lawyer, Mr. Whittaker, explaining everything: the abuse, the impossible demands, and the clients reaching out to me. "He can't win this," Mr. Whittaker said confidently. "You've got a solid case for wrongful termination, and if he wants to drag this into court, his dirty secrets will come out." That evening, I prepared for the next step. I sent a few more emails to former clients who were already unhappy with the company. I didn't need to say much. Hudson's failure spoke for itself. 2 days later, the trigger came. A headline flashed across my newsfeed: "Major clients withdraw amid scandal at top firm." I clicked the article, reading how 3 of Hudson's largest clients had pulled out, citing irreconcilable differences with management. The next morning, Hudson's name appeared on my phone screen again. This time I answered. Him, it's Samantha, I said, sitting back in my chair. You're destroying me, he shouted, his voice filled with rage and panic. Do you think this is a game? I'll bury you in court if that's what it takes. I stayed quiet for a moment, letting his words hang in the air. Then I said calmly, Honey, you buried yourself the moment you stopped treating people right. This isn't about me, it's about your choices. He paused. Then his voice softened, almost pleading. Samantha, I need you back. I'll double your salary, give you full control. Whatever you want, just fix this. I smiled, feeling a rush of satisfaction. No, Hudson. I'm done cleaning up your mess. Good luck. As I ended the call, I felt a strange mixture of triumph and relief. Hudson's downfall wasn't just about his company. It was about me taking back my power. And I wasn't going to give it up again. The crisp autumn air filled the room as I stood by the window, watching the leaves fall to the ground. It had been 6 months since I last heard from Hudson. The lawsuit never happened, thanks to Mr. Waytaker's quick thinking. The company had collapsed and reports said Hudson resigned under pressure from the board. I thought I had moved on. Or so I thought. A week later, an unmarked envelope arrived in my mailbox. Inside was a handwritten note, the familiar handwriting making my stomach drop. You think you've won, Samantha, but I'm not done. Let's see how far you'll go to protect what matters most. My heart sank. Hudson may have lost the company, but this message reminded me he wasn't someone who accepted defeat quietly. I looked over at my kids, playing in the living room, unaware of the trouble that could be coming. Later that evening, Prila called. You've been quiet today, she said. I told her about the note, my voice trembling. What if he does something crazy? Listen, Carla said firmly. You've already shown your former CEO exposed in financial scandal. Hudson arrested for fraud, embezzlement. As I read the articles, I didn't feel revenge, but peace. I turned to my laptop where my growing online business was thriving. I was no longer defined by Hudson or his company. My life was mine now. And for the first time in years, it felt like a brand new beginning. Friends, what do you think of this story? Share your thoughts in the comments. Want more empowering stories? Hit subscribe and tap the so you don't miss the next one. See you tomorrow.